Hey guys, Joey here. Today I'm going to be talking about switching over to a 3D printed strum bar on your Guitar Hero or Clone Hero controller. So originally I kind of thought that switching over to 3D printed strum bar was just going to be for cosmetic reasons, right? Like you just wanted in my case, purple strum bar, or you wanted a red one or white, whatever color you wanted, right? I just thought it was for maybe people who had broken strum bars, or again, just wanted a different color. So I decided to try it. I got this one on Etsy from somebody called Grim Ink 3D, um, and I installed it on this guitar. This is a PS2 Kramer. It's been modded with the same Retro Cult Mods kit that is in my Les Paul, and I talked about what that was like in another video. That's here somewhere. You can find it. Just my thoughts on switching over to mechanical frets and the strum board that's in here. Um, so I installed it on this guitar. I have another one for my Les Paul. I have not put it in quite yet. It's right here. Um, but here are my kind of initial thoughts on it. One, there is definitely less friction when actuating the strum bar here. It's smoother, I will say. That is super evident when you take this apart. Um, if you're not aware, there's kind of a rod that goes through the strum bar. You can kind of see the hole there, I think. Excuse me. And when you have the stock strum bar on that little rod, it is kind of hard to, not hard, but there's some friction. It doesn't necessarily spin around. When you put the 3D printed one, you can kind of flick it and it'll spin all the way around, just showing you that it's almost like a smooth bearing versus a not smooth one, but um, there's almost no friction. So you end up feeling a lot of the switches here um, instead of, I don't know, it's just smoother. I will say that. It's also, I think, a little different material or something. It makes a different noise when you kind of bottom it out, um, and you get some more feedback from it. Another thing I will say, and I don't think this is going to come out on my terrible webcam, but this stock strum bar that I'm holding here is pretty smooth. You can kind of see the light reflecting off of it there. Um, this one has these tiny ridges on it. This is a matte black one, so you may not see the ridges, but um, because it's 3D printed, it's going across this way. So what you get is these ridges that when the strum bar's here and your thumb is kind of coming down on it, it catches on the ridges almost. It's really helpful whenever you're doing, I call them strum resets. I don't really know what they're called, but you're kind of like strumming fast and then you need to take your hand off for a second so that you can go down again. Um, Instead of just alternating the whole time, like you see how my hand is kind of coming off and I'm starting on down again instead of going like, if that makes any sense. Whenever I come off and go to press it with my thumb again, there's less of a chance of it kind of slipping off. Um, and not that that happens all the time, right? But sometimes when you're playing for a while, I guess this thing can get pretty like greasy, I guess, oily, and your thumb might slip off and it gets hard to like catch it again. It just helps, right? The ridges just kind of help that. Um, so that's the other thing, right? Like it's a little less friction on the actual strumming actuation. It's more friction where you want it, I guess, like on the actual strum bar, which is kind of odd how they accomplish both of those things. Um, and that's really it. I mean, they're not super expensive. I don't even remember how much I paid for this, probably like less than $20. Um, but it's again, I didn't think it was going to do much. I thought it was just to have a purple strum bar, but it's not. It's made me a better player just from those two things alone. I will say I did have to tape mod it still. So if you look at this strum bar that I've been showing you, the stock one that has tape. You see this tape in the middle? Um, that's where the actual strum bar hits the switch that's on the strum board. So I've added this tape to make it a little bit bigger, because if you have wiggle room on your strum bar, you can add tape on the sides and it gets rid of that wiggle room. So if you look at this guitar now with the 3D printed one, it does not move back and forth here. I mean, it does to hit it, right? But there's no play in it. If you move it, you're activating that switch immediately. So it's very kind of sensitive in that aspect. But you use the tape on the sides, to kind of fix that, make it a little tighter, I guess. And I had to do that on this one. Could be because it's a modded guitar. I had to do it on the stock one to fit the retro cult mods. It could be because the printer thing is off. Who knows? I don't know. Probably not. I doubt it's their fault. Maybe. I did tell you I ordered this from Grimming 3D on Etsy. Um, these are pretty good quality that came in. I ordered two. There were some little kind of, I don't know, 3D printed junk still on here that I kind of had to scratch off. Wasn't a big deal. And another thing too is make sure you pay attention to the shipping times on Etsy, because if it says it's going to come in three weeks, um, yeah, it's probably going to take the full 3 weeks. So if you're used to ordering stuff and it coming in like within a couple days, just know that a lot of those Etsy guys, have really long shipping times. But other than that, that's really it, guys. I just wanted to kind of talk about switching to a 3D printed strum bar. If you have questions, leave them in the comments. I'll be happy to answer them. But overall, I recommend it. Um, you don't have to go with the person I went with. You can go with anybody, but if it's got these little like ridges, which I think all of them do, it'll help you with what I'm talking about. So it's definitely a great pairing too, along with the mechanical frets and the retro cult mod internals. Um, but yeah, if you're looking for something else to throw on your guitar, I think this would be it. So that's it. Thank you guys. Appreciate it. Until the next one. Peace.